Hello, everyone, and welcome to our live video podcast. It's your weekly dose of coffee, dogs, and curiosities, your alternative CDC. I'm your host, Chris Perandi, the Stunt Dog Guy. Today, let's enjoy our coffee or caffeinated beverage while we watch some awesome dock diving. Sue is also going to be with me here in just a second, and we're going to be bringing Abby into the podcast here in a few minutes as well. Then I'm going to be super excited to introduce you to a special guest. She's our resident dock diving trainer. Her name is Diedra. And today's curiosity is, does your dog love to swim or dock dive? So if they do, start answering in the channel now. And of course, I always like to thank all those that are watching us live. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Again, that's at Stunt Dog Show Productions. And like us on Facebook and stay informed about our future podcasts, live shows, travel adventures, and training tips. If you're watching right now, leave me a comment. Let me know you're here and where you're watching from. Now, today, of course, you know, I do like to collect coffee mugs during my travels, and I'm featuring this one here. It's kind of an interesting coffee mug because it's really cool looking for one, but it's interesting because I don't know where it came from. I can't even remember where I got this coffee mug, but it's super cool, super cute. I'm thinking it was probably a gift from my mom or something from Christmas, but yeah, it's a cool one. Drinking some iced coffee today. Now, before we head to the sunny skies of Florida and welcome Abby Klein to the podcast, I wanted to introduce you guys to a special guest. And we're unfortunately weren't able to get her on the channel live today. Or actually, she is waiting here on the channel. Excellent. So she is in here. Wonderful. Wonderful. You guys are going to get a chance to meet our resident dock diving trainer at the Stunt Dog Academy today. All right. But before we bring her in on the channel, I do want to show you guys something really cool because we got involved in dock diving in 2015. Before that, we really weren't involved in the sport at all. And the way it came about is we had the Minnesota State Fair. They wanted us to put on a dock diving show that combined Frisbee and tricks and a real fun, spectacular production. And we developed this production that's been a hit at the Minnesota State Fair since 2015 now. We were super excited to go back this year. Unfortunately, they canceled, but I wanted to show you guys a highlight video that we put together back about 5 years ago. It's actually a little outdated, but it's pretty cool. It gives you an idea of what we do at the Minnesota State Fair and the kind of crowds we generate at that fair. So check it out. Now, that was us at the Minnesota State Fair, guys. That is one of our favorite fairs. I got Suhei joining me on the channel today. Say hi to everyone, Suhei.
Hi, everybody. Good to be here.
We're going to be talking about water sports, dock diving today. We have Diedra going to be on the channel. She's in the green room right now waiting. And we got Abby as well. And we're going to have a fun podcast today. And little Leo's going to co-host, it looks like, as well today. But I'll tell you, that Minnesota State Fair is something. I say it's probably the biggest fair we do, besides the State Fair of Texas, of course. But we get some of the coolest, biggest, baddest crowds. And I'm going to miss them this year. I sure am.
That's true.
I mean, being up on that dock and getting the dogs in the water and being able to do all the tricks. It's such a joy, and it's so fun. If anyone's watching us from Minnesota right now, let us know how you guys are doing. I know a lot of stuff's going on in the world right now today, and really, really sad stuff. So we hope all of you guys that are watching are safe. But let's get Abby on the channel today. What's going on, Abby?
Hi, Abby.
Were you daydreaming there?
No, there's these yellow flies in Florida that bite me all the time. And I thought I just saw one like fly by. So I was like ready to get my sandal and kill it. And you're like, let's bring Abby on. I'm like, just sitting here waiting calmly.
You remind me of a couple of my dogs. I'll be sitting here doing something on my computer and I hear this snap, 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 look and look and look. And they're trying to catch flies. So
yeah, that's me right now.
Yeah.
Flies are nasty. They're mean. They bite really hard.
Yeah. They're worse in Florida, are they? In California?
Dude, they're like neon yellow and they're the meanest flies that I've ever met in my life.
Oh my gosh.
The Jeffrey Dahmer flies.
Well, you were going to be with us at the Minnesota State Fair this year, and we're really bummed. We were just talking about, the Minnesota State Fair and how we're going to miss it, and we're going to miss the fact that you were going to be there with us, and to experience this awesome fair and the amazing crowd. I'm just going to show a few photos while we talk about it here, and tell us why the Minnesota State Fair is special to you, Abby. Why is it?
It's because it's my home state. It's my home state. I'm from Moorhead, Minnesota, which is right on the border of North Dakota. It's Fargo, Moorhead area. And ever since you started booking that fair, I wanted to do it because it's my home state fair. And so this year you had nothing booked that I had to do, so I was able to do it with you, and I was super pumped. And now I'm super bummed that they canceled it. Like I understand why they canceled it, and I'm happy they did.
And
next year, Abby.
Next year. They've already said hold the dates for next year, so we'll work on trying to get you there next year. And it's so nice too, because we're only like a couple hundred yards away, our RV park, and it's in a secluded area behind this like building, and nobody goes over there. We got this nice grass area, nice tree shade, and then it's an easy walk over to the dock. So it's really nice outside of doing shows, not just doing the shows. The shows are spectacular, but just hanging out at that fair and just experiencing it, being able to live there on site. It's something. You're going to enjoy it.
Yeah. I'm excited for whenever I get to do it someday. Maybe.
2021 will be a big year.
And we miss all our friends too. We're going to miss Palmdropic and Danielle. Man, there's so many great people. Nate that brings us in. And we're going to miss everybody out there. But anyway, I just wanted to show a few photos of the fair. Look at these crowds. That we get when we're there. 2,000 plus people watching us. It's really exhilarating.
It's the second largest state fair in the United States, right?
It is.
Texas?
Yeah. They get over on their busy day. There's over 250,000 people on the fairgrounds in one day.
Yeah,
one day. They get over 2 million people in 12 days. Compared to State Fair Texas, gets like 3 million, I think, but it's over 24 days. So just to give you kind of an idea, it's a lot of people in one place at one time.
Yeah.
And we share it with you'll see some of these photos. It's kind of like a woodsy area. We're in the North Woods area of the fairgrounds, and they actually have a lumberjack show in the same area. We in fact share their pool. Their pool is 60 feet, so the pool looks humongous, and it feels humongous too. But it's a 60-foot pool because they do boom running across it on the logs. There you can see the logs there, and they move them off to the side when it's our turn to do our show, and then they're out in the center when it's time to do their show. Anyway, enough about the Minnesota State Fair. We'll be hopefully seeing them out there next year, and all you folks that are watching from Minnesota. Again, if you guys are watching right now, does your dog love the water? We're going to be talking about that here in a minute. And have you ever got your dogs dock diving, or would you like to? We have a special guest with us today, and she is our resident dog trainer on our Stunt Dog Academy property and facility. We're normally gone about 8 months out of the year, so Dee Dee's been holding the fort down and doing a fantastic job. And she does classes daily out here at our academy. So I'm going to actually show a quick video, and then I'm going to bring Dee Dee into the channel, and you guys are going to get a chance to ask questions about dock diving, about swimming with your dogs. Abby has some experience too, and so does Dee Dee, and we're going to have a little party here. All right. So I'm going to put you in the green room, Abby, and I'm going to bring this video up here in just a second. And do you have a dog with you today, Abby? I don't know. I didn't see any dogs with you. Is there a dog in the room with you?
I brought. We have Peter. Can you see him?
Okay. Yeah, Peter.
Toby, who's my dock diving beast.
Toby's awesome.
He is. I've had a chance to jump him actually at the Minnesota State Fair. He did great. He jumps for a Frisbee.
Yeah, he does. All right, I got this video queued up. I'm gonna go ahead and show this video. We did this just the day before
Friday. And
we did this with Dee Dee because we don't have the best connection out at the dock, so we pre-recorded this. So this is an interview with Dee Dee, and then we're gonna bring her on the podcast. She's at home right now, and we're gonna have a little conversation with her. All right, so here you go, guys. Check it out. Good afternoon, everyone. We're here at our Stunt Dog Academy with our very talented on-site trainer. This is Diedra McElroy. How's it going today, Dee Dee?
you're great. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks so much for taking the time to do this interview with us today. I'm excited to introduce you to all of our viewers. This is going to be so fun. Now, you've actually been a part of our Stunt Dog Academy since we pretty much opened.
Pretty much.
And you've done, I don't know, how many classes do you think you've done out here now?
Oh my gosh. 100?
100, yeah, probably. Dee Dee's actually been our on-site Stunt Dog Academy dock diving instructor for over 3 years now since our Stunt Dog Academy opened. And if you want to get your dog trained into the sport of dock diving, Dee Dee's the one to go to. Now, tell us, what are your techniques? Like, really, how do you get people to get their dogs jumping off the dock?
Oh, there are so many techniques involved because a lot of it depends on the dog. So when I'm first trying, I got to make sure that dog has ultimate swim confidence. I need to know that they believe when they hit that water that all's going to be good. Once they have swim confidence, then it's a matter of playing with the toy, figuring out how they like to play with the toy, and then profiting off of that. And then we have to keep in mind that I have to also think of the human.
Sure.
Because the way I play may not be the way their human is willing to play. So we just have to be able to adjust everything for the dog and the human and have a lot to pull out of the toolbox to help them.
That makes absolute sense because everybody learns different. Every dog learns different. So you have to pretty much adjust every training session to their skill level, basically.
Right, exactly. Sometimes we'll get a really crazy Malinois however with insane toy drive, and now I have to teach them how to calm down and have some self-control to get the best jumps. Other dogs are absolutely terrified of their shadow, and I have to build self-confidence for a while first.
Well, we get nothing but great reviews. Every time you do a lesson out here, everyone raves about how you work with them and how patient you are with their dogs. So definitely keep up the good work. How long have you actually been training dogs?
Officially, I've been training dogs for 30 years. My first detection dog I trained when I was 7 years old. I grew up in Tahiti, and he and I would go out on the beach on Saturday mornings, and I figured out he was telling me which holes had crabs in it so I could dig the crabs up so he could chase them. And I was hooked right then.
That is awesome. I love it. So, but what inspired you to start getting into dock diving training specifically?
Well, let me see. How did that competition came? No, I take that back. Okay. I was working with a PetSmart trainer out in Santa Cruz, and she was starting to get into dock diving, and she's like, oh my God, you should come do this because we had the same kind of dog. So back then you had to travel a really long ways to get to a portable dock, and my dog was instantly good at and jumping 25, 26 feet. So that's
the biggest jumper you've had since you've been doing that. That's incredible jumping. Boy, you probably won a lot of ribbons, trophies, titles.
We did, yes. He was nationally ranked. We had a blast. Awesome. He was my boy.
That is so cool. So how many dogs do you have now? And we're going to get a chance to see some of your dogs jump in the water here in just a second.
I personally have 5 dogs.
Okay.
One of them is 75 pounds, and the smallest one weighs 4 pounds.
Oh, my goodness.
I don't let her jump off the dock, but she loves to swim, so she'll jump off the ramp.
Okay, awesome. And who are we going to see jumping in the water today?
Today we have Karma. She is my field trial black lab. She's currently my canine partner in detection, and she is quite the little go-getter. She loves chasing that toy out into the water.
Awesome. Well, let's go get her in the water. Let's go.
All right. Karma's 5 years old. We got her when she was 12 weeks old from a breeder up north in California. And she was the wash out of the litter. None of the field trial guys would buy her because as a puppy, she didn't appear to have enough drive. But I can tell you this dog has tons of drive. She is a great Frisbee dog and competes at it. She's my #1 detection canine partner. She's on our cancer detection team. And of course, she loves dock diving as a hobby.
All right, let's get her in the water. Well, that was awesome. And Sue edited that. You did a fantastic job, by the way.
I could have done better. I didn't have a lot of time. We got really busy after we filmed, and I just edited that earlier today in like half an hour. So I think I can make it better and add some more dog diving and some more fun stuff that we did with Karma out there.
Yeah, Karma's adorable, and you're gonna do that, and then we're gonna post it as a separate link on our Facebook channel and on our YouTube channel too, so you guys get a chance to maybe see even a little bit more. So it's gonna be awesome. So we're gonna bring Dee Dee in the channel right now. She is live streaming with us from her house. So let's bring her in and let's say hi to everybody. How you doing, Dee Dee? Can you hear us?
Hi, everyone.
Hey, what's going on? How you doing
good
today? So you were supposed to have a class today, and I guess it got canceled. So you're able to join us today for a minute.
I am. Unfortunately, the human is coughing and not feeling well. So COVID-19, she's being extra cautious and staying home.
Okay, well, that's better to be safe than sorry, especially with everything going on right now. So that was nice of him to let you know that. So. Well, awesome. Well, thank you so much again for doing that interview. I think that was spectacular, and Sue, you did great editing it. And hopefully what we really want to do here is we want to inspire people to maybe get their dogs into the sport of dock diving. And we're going to bring Abby back in the channel too. I want to introduce you to Abby. So let's get Abby in here too. What's going on, Abby?
Hey, Dee Dee.
Hey, what'd you think of that video, Abby? Was that awesome?
Yeah, Suhei did a good job. Don't undermine yourself, Suhei.
Yeah. Well, what about Dee Dee though? I mean, she did a fantastic.
Yeah, Dee Dee's a badass.
It's so cool. Well, I mean, like I said, we want to inspire people. If anyone's watching at home right now, we want to encourage you guys to interact with us today. Let us know. Does your dog love the water? And have you ever considered getting him in dock diving, or do you? And, hey, who's that, Dee Dee? Who's this one?
I guess Houston decided to join us.
Okay.
He heard water. He was like, "Oh, water? What?"
Yeah, my water puppy. He's like, "Did you say dock diving? Can we go?"
Is that your big champ behind you on the photo? In the photo with the ribbons around it?
That's my big boy. Yeah, Dante. I'll miss him every day of my life.
Aw, love it. Beautiful. You got any questions for Dee Dee, Abby? Why we have her on?
Totally. I mean, it's just it's super cool that you are able to run those classes and stuff there. Do you find that you have like more dogs? Is it pretty easy to get them going on the dock? Like I don't do dock diving. Like
okay,
I don't do it. I mean, I think it's fun, but to me, it's it's so much work. Like your dog is wet, so then you have to dry them off. You put them in your car and they smell. It's not. But it's super fun, and I think it's awesome. But like the one thing I guess that I'm curious about is like, do you have people coming in without dogs to toy drive, and are you able to get those dogs diving? Is that a pretty regular thing? And then my other question is, what is your thoughts on extreme vertical? Because when I watch those dogs jump for that, and the way they land on their rear, even though they're landing in water, do you feel like that translates to the way a dog jumps for a toy on land?
Okay, so that's a lot of questions all in one.
There's two.
I hate it when reporters do that.
I know, they give you too much time.
Dogs definitely come to me with all sorts of background experience. Some people say the dog loves water, and you find out they love water when it's a bath, or a hose, but not necessarily when they have to float in it or actually jump in it. And yes, some dogs come with no toy drive whatsoever, and I still have to work around that. So a lot of times those dogs absolutely adore their owners. So I put the owners at the end of the pool. And if the dog, you just got to find something the dog wants and then teach them, you got to go through the water to get to it. We can always build later on once they have swim confidence and they enjoy the water. So sometimes it's also a matter of scheduling on a 100-degree day. The water looks a whole lot more inviting to a dog when they're really hot. So we just have to kind of play games that way. As far as super vertical goes, there was that whole controversy for a while there about it. And I wondered. So I got a GoPro and I filmed my dog underwater. And he only jumps 8.5 feet on the Super V. But his back legs were bottoming out on the bottom of the pool.
Right.
And that scared me because they don't jump the same way into water as they would jump on land. They're not ready for landing on a hard surface.
Right.
So I don't let my dogs compete in Super V. I use some height rigs for teaching jumping up to get distance and all that, but I don't do the whole how high can you go thing. Personal choice.
Yeah. Well, and it's just that I don't know anything about it, so I'm asking like genuinely, not like being a butthole, but like it's just, like with us, we train all like our dogs for high jump and stuff, and like when you train a dog for high jump, like I know that training a dog to jump over something is different than training a dog to jump for something, so like I know the dog will jump differently, but if my dog is like learning to jump off of the dock and catch a toy and land with their rear first, is that going, like, do you think that would translate to a dog? Like if I throw a Frisbee, if they jump into the air to catch that Frisbee, is that behavior patterned in their body, their muscle memory to land rear first? Like, do you think it affects the way a dog jumps for toys on land versus the way they jump for toys in the water?
I think they jump for toys in the water completely differently because they're expecting to hit floaty water. They don't use their hind legs correctly. I do worry that if they get too much practice on water, that they may lose their balance on land if you're doing crossover training that way.
Right.
And then that just translates to CCLs getting torn and, excessive stress on specifically the tail. I think one of the things people worry about in dock diving the most is something we refer to as dead tail.
Mm-hmm.
And literally the dog 24 hours after doing dock diving cannot physically move its tail. It can't wag it. It just is dead limp. Nobody really knows 100% why that's happening. The theory is that because the tail is an extension of the spine, that it gets pulled after dock diving if you don't dry them off properly. And some dogs are more susceptible. You didn't teach them proper landing in water.
Gotcha. So it's a mixture between
part of my thing.
So it's a mixture between the dogs jumping out in cold water and maybe not landing properly.
Not landing properly, because if you think about it, when we teach these dogs to really launch, they launch with their hind legs stretched out behind them.
Right.
And if they hit the water like that, that means that hard water force is hitting against their knees.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So we actually want to teach the dog to tuck right before they land in the water. That's the safest way.
Right. And that's why at our academy we do classes to introduce them to it. There's strategy that goes into it, and there's technique that you have to follow in order to have your dog do it safely for longevity, and that's why having the intro class is so important, because every once in a while people will want to come and just rent the dock. I don't need a lesson. My dog knows how to swim already. Well, it's not just so much about how to swim. It's, the process of it all and the safety of it all. Wouldn't you agree?
There's a lot of safety involved. I mean, some dogs will try to jump off the ramp straight out of the pool and hit the cement sidewalk.
Right.
If you're not trained how to toss your toy, you may think it's just a matter of throwing the toy, but the next thing you know, your dog comes barreling down the ramp and takes you in the pool with them, and you catch your knee on the edge of the dock on your way down.
Right. Right. Hey, we have a couple questions coming in. Steph Randall asked, she's got a Jack Russell that's an avid swimmer, and she had a bad experience with a qualified hypnotherapist and would not go in the water unless her feet can touch the bottom. Any advice or tips to help her?
So that's one of those things, like a dog I was just working with right before here is confident in water, likes water, as long as I can touch ground. So the walking down the ramp, there's going to be that point where they start to feel the floaty feeling. Mm-hmm. We have to turn that moment into extreme fun for them, whether it be with food, praise from the owner, or toys. So we just have to change their attitude and their connection with that floaty feeling, not being scary. Instead, it's really cool.
Do you think putting a life vest on the dog would help build their confidence?
I personally do not use life vests very often for training swimming, just because it changes the dynamics, what we call proprioception for the dog of their body. Mm-hmm. And they tend to feel a little more out of control. it makes them kind of wobble in the water. Their body doesn't get used the same. So I prefer to teach it to be super confident first. And I support them. It's not like you just throw them in the water and deal with it.
Right.
Teach them how to use their rear end, how to turn right, how to turn left. Dogs are very much right or left-handed. So you got to teach them how to go the opposite way, how to find the ramp. You know, there's a lot that kind of goes into it, but it's got to be fun for the dog.
Oh, absolutely. I would just ask you, we recently used a life vest on Mozzie because he was just really reluctant to jump off the 24-inch jump, you know, the big jump off the dock. He was going off the top of the ramp, and he just kept hesitating and not just, it was just it was getting frustrating because we did so many sessions with him, and finally so let's just put a life vest on him. Let's just see. And it did help build his confidence. And now he's jumping out. Now we don't have to put it on him, but at first it kind of helped his confidence. And I think every dog's different, and not every dog, it might not be the best solution, the go-to solution, I guess. But
no, I have a little gadget where you take a pool noodle and I cut it to the width of their body, and then I put a leash through it that is the size of their waist. So it's kind of like a little flotation device for their rear. That helps a lot. So there are all kinds of little tricks we use. Yeah, and I absolutely would recommend somebody using a life vest if they're swimming in a lake or obviously the ocean where the dog might have to fight currents or cold water. Yeah, I was just wondering because, you know, when they first jump that high, they sink more than they would off the ramp, and then they get just a lot of water. So I was just thinking maybe that would take that out of the factor. Like when he's jumping now, he can just focus on the scariness of the jump rather than the scariness of sinking and ingesting water. I don't know. That's why we did it with Mozzie anyway, because it felt like when he was jumping, he was just sinking in, and his because he's going for the toy, his head was going underwater. So, you know, he's a big puppy. He's a big puppy too. He's 9 months old, and he's like already 50 pounds almost, you know? So, I mean, that might have something to do with it. Well, I also have a progression that I like to use off the ramp. It's going to be hard to describe here, but if this is the ramp and my wrist is where the water level is, I start the dogs jumping into the water with their feet already in the water so that they're comfortable. And then we back it up and we back it up and we back it up. And then we start going slightly at an angle. So there's... Oh, we lost her, I think. You cut out a little bit there, Dee. Did she cut out for you too, Abby?
Yeah, she's frozen for me.
Yeah, shoot. It's a weird position to be frozen.
Oh, all three of you were...
Sorry,
we lost you, Dee.
When you went...
When you did something like you were doing something like that, then you froze.
Yeah, so there's different progressions that I use of jumping off the side of the ramp. Higher, higher, higher. Pretty soon they're not even in the water when they jump. And I build up to that 2-foot jump. I don't just go, oh, you can launch off the ramp, go off the dock now.
Right. Well, we definitely were. But he was just being really weird about going off the dock. He'd do it, and then the next time we'd take him back out, then he didn't want to do it, and it would be like a whole process all over again. You know how that is, you know? So I just thought we'd give it a try, and it has helped build his confidence. So I just wanted to get your take on it, you know? And yeah, thanks for letting us know that. And I know you have tried and true techniques that you do, and people are very happy with them. If anyone's watching right now that's taken a lesson from Dee, chime in. We'd love to hear how your experience was with Dee, if you happen to be. And then Abby's gotten into dock diving a little bit, not really competing so much. Have you been to any competitions, Abby?
I went to one like 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah, but you got a couple of spectacular dock divers. I mean,
yeah, Toby's a beast. He placed pretty well. So hey, we were at that together, weren't we?
Yeah, the one in Florida. I think that was probably the first. Actually, that was the first competition I ever went to. So that was a few years back.
Yeah, Toby did decent. I think he jumped like 24, and then his fetch hit was like 19, I think is what he capped out at.
He did a great job.
Awesome.
Yeah, he's a good boy.
Hey, Dee got it. And who do we got? We each got a dog here. And
we don't have a dog diving dog right now.
So Dee, while we have you on the line, and again, I would like to thank you for taking the time to be on our podcast today. It's awesome to have you, because we're going to wrap this up here in a second. But anything you'd like to tell any newcomers that are watching that might want to get their dogs involved in the sport? Any advice, any suggestions, any tips?
If you're interested in doing it, we can always get your dog doing it. It's just a matter of time. Be patient, work with the dog at his own level. Some dogs come out and I can get them jumping off the dock instantaneously. Other dogs are just going to take some time and patience, but we can always get it going. And it's a huge confidence builder for those shy dogs out there.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great advice. I'm just going to throw some pictures up of our Stunt Dog Academy. For those of you that aren't aware, we are located in French Camp, California, right outside of Stockton, about 10 minutes from downtown Stockton, but we're right off I-5 near the county hospital. And we have a beautiful dock and pool, and Dee runs classes here. And we're planning to start doing some group, not open docks, maybe again, and maybe do a competition or two. Well, since we're off and home, that might be kind of fun. So we've been kind of throwing that idea around. We'll talk to you more about that, Dee.
Well, and then if anybody has a special needs dog, swim therapy is extremely advantageous. And I am a certified canine fitness trainer from the vet school at University of Tennessee. So we can work that out if you've got special needs.
Yeah, we have therapy swims, and Dee runs them, and I'm glad you brought that up. Absolutely. That's another thing that some people don't really think about, the older dogs or dog. And if you guys want to visit us at stuntdogacademy.com, you can schedule classes there, or you can write us and we'll schedule a mutual time that works great with Dee and works great with you. And you can also schedule dock diving rentals. We do 1 hour private dock rentals, so you can come, or half hour. And you can bring
group rentals.
Yeah, we even do group rentals, but we do ask that you do the introductory class first, so you can get the idea of how the sport works. Dee will give you a good intro on how to get your dog swimming and get your dog used to the dog. So again, thanks to Abby for co-hosting today. Awesome seeing you. And thank you again, Dee. And you all have a great rest of your afternoon. And thanks again, everyone, for signing in to Coffee, Dogs, and Curiosities, your alternative CDC. We'll see you next time. We'll be live this Thursday with Brian and Kara at the Indianapolis Zoo. See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.